Hello YouTube. If you're watching this video, you're probably thinking about getting a Langmuir Systems MR1. I just got mine, just got it set up. I can actually make stuff with it now. So this video, I'll keep it as short as possible, but I think it's gonna be a little bit involved. But I just wanted to tell you, if you're thinking about it, what I went through, or anyway, my thoughts on it. First thing I want to tell you, if you want one of these, chances are you are a machinist or you have that desire. So you're going to like the machine. First of all, if you're thinking about it at all and you want one at home, you're probably going to get this. Cost for a 3-axis CNC mill with this size table, it's impressive. So again, I wanted to give you my thoughts on it. The setup is, I'm going to describe it as involved, but not complex. There's nothing that's really hard to do, especially again, if you're a machinist and you understand some of the stuff you've already gone through at work or whatever. So it's not complex. The videos that they have at Langmuir are incredible, but there's a lot to the setup. Obviously, it comes in a fairly small box and it ends up being almost 1,000 pounds by the time you're done with adding concrete to it and stuff like that. So, but I call it involved, but not complex. Note to that is, I think you will definitely need a friend or two at certain steps. The concrete was one where there's no way you could do it by yourself. And honestly, there was 2 of us, and I thought if we would have had a third, that would have been even better. I'm gonna hit on that concrete a little bit as well. I don't do concrete for a living. I never have. So I don't understand the dryness that Langmuir really wants you to do for the concrete. In other words, like the concrete I've done, fencing and stuff like that, I've always done the concrete a lot wetter than what their requirements were. And I get it. There's a ground that absorbs concrete, the moisture out of it. This is in a chip tray. It's a metal tub. The only way it can go is to evaporate. So it's going to take time. After going through the setup, in my opinion, I would have rather have made that concrete a lot wetter and gave it a month to dry. I think it would have been much easier. Making that concrete level and smashing it down with the amount of water they wanted with it, which I went by their exact requirement, made it very, very difficult, in my opinion, to get the concrete to settle between bags and then get the work table down in there. I just think if it would have been wetter, it would have been a lot easier. It would have self-leveled a lot better. It would have turned out better for me, and especially when I did the epoxy. I'll do another video after this. I'm going to show you guys what upgrades that I've done. A lot of people have done on their own, so, and mine are the same as some, but we're all different. You're gonna make it your own anyway, so just give you some ideas, but that's another video. But you will see how my concrete, I'm not real happy with it, but that's okay. So going back to the setup, it is involved, but it's not complex. You can do it. So don't let that scare you, but also don't be in a hurry. I am retired. I retired a year ago. So I had the time to set up. I have other stuff going on at my house. So I received my MR1 actually shipped to my house November 29th. Sorry about that. That's the gate. And I finally got it to be able to make a part on February 2nd. But there was a lot going on in between there. So the point is, take your time. Don't be in a hurry. Sorry about that again. Just don't be in a hurry. Take your time and make sure you set up everything right. All that stuff is critical, of course. Everything they tell you to look for, you want to look for. You want to check it twice like you're supposed to. So don't be scared. It's an involved but not complex setup. Take your time doing it. The next thing I want to say is Langmuir is very helpful. I spoke to a dude named Jake, which I'm sure you all will if you call their help number. And Jake is a trooper, man. I feel like I owe the guy a Christmas card. He never got upset with me. I had certain little issues during setup that I would call and send pictures and send videos and stuff. And man, you know, setting up stuff like this and this being a brand new mill, there's going to be growing pains. And I knew that when I got one. I actually ordered mine the day that they went on sale because I knew it was going to be a pretty cool machine. So I get it. There's a little issues with setup, but they're there to help. That dude, Jake, is awesome. And I'm sure all of them are there. But Jake is the only guy. Actually, I take that back. I did talk to another gentleman when Jake happened to not be there, and he was just as helpful. So the support for these is incredible. Me personally, I also have another Langmuir tool. I'll show you when whatever. It's the Crossfire Pro, the 3x4, whatever that is. I think it's the Pro. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, so I had that for a while before I ordered this. So that's those two things. The biggest, the setup. If you're thinking about it, don't be too scared, but also relax and know it's going to take you some time. So moving on forward, I want to give you a couple of suggestions of things that I think you should get. There's a lot of people that are like me for the most part. I'm very frugal is a better word than cheap. I don't know. I would much rather, I look on Amazon and see if I could get something cheaper than someone else sells. I'm always that way. But I'm going to give you my suggestions on what to get with this machine. It's going to cost you more. But it's their stuff. It's designed for it. And in my life, it's going to make your life a lot easier. So I don't have any suggestions of or any experience of me not going any other way. But I want to say that setup and everything working has been really good. So my suggestions on thing to get, first and foremost, is the touch probe and the tool setter. If you're a machinist or especially if you're just learning, the touch probe and the tool setter is going to save you a lot of time. You're going to be more accurate with parts. I forget what it costs. The cost isn't that bad. Maybe $800. I don't remember. But if you're thinking about getting this machine, please get that. Whether you use it right away or not, or if you start off trying to do manual stuff and just play in and do it, whatever, get that system. The next thing is flood coolant. If you set this machine up without flood coolant and then want it later, it's too late. Your concrete's set. So flood coolant is actually probably should have been number one. If you get nothing else, get flood coolant, even if you never want to use it. But you will want to use it, obviously. It'll save on your cutters and everything. So flood coolant, a definite. Touch probe, tool setter, a definite. The coolant relay, it was only $80, and for some reason I did not get it when I ordered the machine. And then so I'm over here flicking the switch on and off when I was trying to, do stuff, and I'm like, man, this sucks. So $80 for the coolant relay, which means you can turn it on from the touch screen. It's a lot simpler. Plus you can program it in to run the coolant and all that. So coolant relay, $80, whatever. I forget what they call it. It's whatever. Get the coolant relay. The epoxy over the concrete, you can do it. Or you don't have to. They tell you that in the Langmuir videos. I say definitely do it. It makes total sense to me. One, when you have aluminum chips or any type of chips, I shouldn't say aluminum, it's going to stick to that concrete. It's going to be really hard to clean up and brush and clean it up. So the epoxy, absolutely, over the concrete. Plus, to me, the machine, it looks a little better. So you definitely want to do the epoxy. They sell epoxy. This is me being frugal again. I didn't buy theirs because they sell it and give you a gray color mix with it. It's a solid, pardon me, it's a solid gray color. I didn't care for the color. I went and bought the exact same epoxy on Amazon. It was $20 cheaper, but it didn't come with dye. I do epoxy stuff just for myself, doing stuff, woodwork or whatever. So I have a whole bunch of powders and I changed the color. I made it a color that I wanted. So, but my point is either buy their epoxy or buy your own and color. You could even leave it clear if you want to. You don't have to have it colored. I just think it looks cool. So epoxy to me is definitely one of the things to do, to get. The low profile vices. I got two with mine. That's really not a requirement for anyone. Where I'm frugal, I'm also the type to if I'm going to be spending the money now, I would rather hurt a little bit now and be better later. So I went and bought two. I happen to have, I don't even know where it came from. I got it from some machine shop that closed down or something. I got a big block of aluminum, 70-75, 2-inch thick. That's 15 inches. Well, it's right here. You can't see it, but I I'm not going to set that in a vise and try and color around. I'd put it in 2 vices and grab it. So get at least one of the vices. And what goes along with the vices is their own hold down system. The hold down clamps that they make for it are nice. It's made for it. You know, it's engineered to go with it. It goes right in the sides. You can lock them down. Yes, you don't have to. You can use clamping system you got, whatever, you know. You can do whatever you want. To me, it's just easier. You have their setup. You have the Z. There isn't a lot of Z. There's a bug there. There is, but there isn't. By the time you put a tool in and all that stuff, you know, plus your vise, even though it's a low profile, is going to be an inch up. So you lose a lot of that Z really fast. So, you know, like if you put a Kurt vise in there, yeah, you're not going to be able to do much, in my opinion. So their low profile vices, yes, you could probably go find other ones, but theirs was made for this machine. So again, these are just my suggestions. I would get their low profile vise, and if you could afford it at all, I would go ahead and get 2. But that's just me. That's just my suggestion. But at least get one. My suggestion is absolutely get one. So, and then on with that, I'm thinking about the work table, the little 1/4-20 plugs and all the holes. It's a little set. I don't know. It was $20, something like that. You can get that, or you can buy them. I bought it. So it just keeps the chips from getting down in the work table where you have, so you can move your, where you mount everything. I have plugs in every hole that's not filled, or that's not used. So I got my 2 vices mounted on there, and the other ones all have the plugs in them. So that way it just don't get a buildup, don't get any fluids down in the bottom and stuff. So that's just me. Another thing I suggest is their touch monitor. I think you get their control computer, and then the computer controller, and then you can run your own computer, right? Again, I go more towards, this is made for this machine. They engineered it to work with it, and I don't remember what it cost, but it works really nice. I've used it, I wouldn't say quite a bit. I haven't really made anything yet. I've done a bunch of playing around and programming, and I did a little engrave thing here. I'll show you the 7075 aluminum. So I engraved my logo on there. I faced it off. I ran a little program on the outside. I've done a few things with it. But the touch monitor is really nice. It's set up, it's laid out. I would say definitely get that. I also got and with the touch monitor comes their pennant. Now their pennant, that's if I have any complaints at all about this machine, their pennant, that is the only complaint I have. I got the first one that came with the machine. If you get the monitor, the pennant comes with it. And I do recommend it. Obviously, you're going to be doing stuff where you don't want to be reaching outside the machine and trying to see when you're close to a part. Hands-free, carry that thing in with you. It's definitely, you need a type of wireless pennant. I guess even wired, but wireless is nice. You got to have it, just depending on what you're doing. So I recommend getting their monitor, and it comes with it. But I got the one that came with the machine. It worked a little bit, and then it wouldn't work unless I plugged it in. So I called Jake again. Jake's like, all right, dude, yeah, something bad. We'll send you another one. They sent me another one. It did the same thing. Now I've got 2 of these pennants, and neither one of them worked. So I probably will go out and try and find one of my own. Maybe even if it's wired, I don't care, but I cannot be leaning in that machine and trying to get close to the corner of a part and then lean back out and open the door and have my monitor over. It's like, it's just a pain. So that's my only complaint. If you get their monitor, you're going to get the pennant, which is fine. Just really don't expect much out of it. And maybe I'm the only guy, but I got 2 of them and neither one of them work, and that's frustrating. But the pennant's like $20. So it's not, it's not a deal breaker. When I think I ended up paying about $8,000 for mine with everything I told you I got, the 2 vices, the coolant relay, flood coolant, touch probe tool setter. I didn't buy their epoxy, but I got the 2 vices, their 2 hold down kits. I got the plugs. I got their monitor. I also got the mount for the monitor that goes on the leg. Now I'm going to say part of my suggestion for that is if you got room, it's cool. It stays right there. I have a big shop. I'll show it in another video, 1,800 square foot. But I got I got stuff in it. And I don't have a lot of room anyway. I mean, there's a lot of room in the building, but I didn't have a lot of room to put this. So me having it mounted on there and it doesn't swivel, oh, sorry, that was my knee. It doesn't swivel out of the way. It didn't work for me. So I'll show in the other video, I ended up going a different way. You can see it in the corner over there, that blue cover. I put mine on a little work table. It's like the water jet we had at work. It had all the wires were hooked to the water jet and you could roll the table around and look and see what you were doing. So that's what I did. I mounted my monitor to a roll around table. But I think that's it for this video. Just a quick recap. If you're thinking about getting an MR1, I can't tell you how much you're going to enjoy it. We're all different. But if you're just on the fence and you're not sure, it is a lot to spend, but it's not for 3-axis CNC at the house with flood coolant and touch probe and tool setter. That's crazy. You know, we had Haas's at work. The machines are awesome. But man, this is my house. I'm retired now. If I want to do anything, I don't have work anymore. So these are just my opinions. If you're thinking about getting one, I don't think you'll be upset that you get one, but just know that the setup is involved. Like I say, take your time. It's going to take you a while, but know that Langmeyer's there and they will help you. They'll help you through it. They were really good. I mean, I had several problems that weren't big ones, but several things I had to get through, or even just questions I had, like there was something with the precision ground face of some of the bearings or something, and I had a question and they answered it, you know. So if you're a machinist or you want to be a machinist and you're interested in this machine, in my opinion, strictly my opinion, I think it was worth it. So far, I still haven't made anything. All I've done is face a few things, run an outer program. I mean, I've drawn up a few things. I've actually had a few more problems with Fusion 360. But so far, it's been a really good machine. I'm not disappointed that I got it by any means. And I'll do a follow-up, you know, after I've made a few parts and see how things go. But if you're thinking about getting an MR1, my suggestion is go ahead. You know, don't be scared. There's people there to help you. And get all the extra stuff I mentioned. It will just, I think, make your life easier later on. So this video is almost 20 minutes long. I will cut it short from there. I'll make another video showing the, not upgrades, whatever, the things I've changed, the things I've done. Also, I wanted to say real quick, since I'm still under 20 minutes, when I put this together, one of the differences, the biggest difference would have been the concrete. I would wet, if I ever do it again, I don't care, I'm putting more water in it. Don't do that because I said it. I'm saying I'm gonna do it. That dry concrete was a bear for me. But there are things I see that could have been set up. I'm not even gonna say what the suggestions are, because especially if you're a machinist, you're gonna, when you see, we all think different, obviously. I would have did things to make the setup a little bit more locked in, I guess. There's a little bit too much freedom. So, and then working with concrete and stuff, it's a little bit different. But again, you're gonna see things. So I'm not gonna suggest things that I thought I would have done different. But, so cut it short right now. If you're thinking about getting one, you know, don't be too scared, go ahead and get it. But get what you can, get all the extras. And I'll follow up this video with all this stuff I've done to it. All right, thanks, have a good one.